We are all frogs sitting in a pot of water as the temperature slowly increases, and soon it will come to a boil. And when that happens, for a lot of people, it'll probably be too late. Take a look at the first mugshots in the Trump Georgia election case. You've got John Eastman, Trump's lawyer, and Scott Hall. I just got to say, it is shocking and horrifying that we're at the point where Trump's lawyers are being arrested, and it won't stop here. Republicans, I'm not convinced, are prepared for what's to come. And I mean that holistically, the politicians as well as the voters. Donald Trump says that he'll proudly be arrested tomorrow, and according to numerous reports, he'll be treated the same as everyone else. I don't know how that's possible. One argument is that they're going to shuffle Trump in and shuffle Trump out as quickly as possible because the strain on the system would be too great to hold Donald Trump inside with these, let's just say, terrible conditions and security concerns. I don't think they care. I think they are rapidly increasing the pressure to a degree in which people do not understand the severity of what's going on. But let me lay it out for you with two other stories, and then we'll come back and start with the Trump being arrested. First, we have this from Politico. Trump Mar-a-Lago security aide flipped after changing lawyers. That's right. You see, there was one of the individuals being questioned had given a story and explained what happened. Then the federal government intervenes, and this guy all of a sudden is like, "Oh, actually, I changed my mind. I want to change my story." Does anyone actually believe that this is legitimate? I don't trust these people. People like Jack Smith are clearly engaged in a political persecution and prosecution of the Republican frontrunner. And if in any argument as to perhaps anyone saying Trump's guilty, you've lost all that. I'm sorry, you've lost all that. Russiagate, Ukrainegate, debunked. We know those are all lies. We know Joe Biden was engaged in illicit business activities. No. So when you tell me that someone testifies, says, here's what really happened in these documents case, then the feds intervene and all of a sudden he says, actually, I've changed my mind. My story's totally different. You expect me to believe that's legitimate? Nope. And here's the next story from the AP. Fired founder of right-wing organization Project Veritas is under investigation in New York. They're going after James O'Keefe. This is August 18th, 2023. What did I say only a few weeks ago? What have I been saying these past couple of weeks? The next people to be targeted will be media personalities. Now, let me preface this with my actual belief is a bit more nuanced than just to say James O'Keefe. It is people who are cheering on Trump or working towards any kind of to help him in any way with his goal. James O'Keefe does not fit that description perfectly. What I meant was specifically, I believe they'll go after people like Tucker Carlson, people who are in position, in communication with the president and his legal team, who then went on to either agree with or work towards uncovering what they viewed to be election fraud. Now, while James O'Keefe is not the perfect example of what I was referring to, he does still fit the mold. See, James O'Keefe uncovered, how about a video of a guy who's got a bunch of ballots in his car saying that he's getting paid for this. Yes, individuals who are helping Donald Trump in any way in this narrative are next. Now, I don't know what they're doing with James O'Keefe, but I warned, and I'm warning you now. It's going to get worse. I want to make sure I preface all of this with, 1, now is the time for procedural action. Knocking on doors, advocating for people to vote, spreading the word. The most important thing you could probably do, tell all your friends and family to sign up for X, formerly known as Twitter. You see, convincing someone that this is going on is very difficult. You tell them that they're arresting investigating journalists, arresting lawyers, And they're going to say, hey, this is crazy. What? It's not happening. You're a conspiracy theorist. There is a simple thing you can do. Hey, are you on Twitter or X or whatever? No, I don't know. You should sign up because I'm on it, and then I can message you and I can stuff like that, and then I'll see your posts. Now that is a much easier sell. People need to know what's going on, but I want to make sure I explain this to you. These images, these investigations, these news stories, they want you angry. Don't get angry. Get smart. Donald Trump can win, and I believe he's actually the favorite to win. Trump lost in 2020 by around 42,000 votes in 3 states. He can easily make that up. And without lockdowns, Democrats are in serious trouble. Now, they come out and they say Joe Biden got 81 million votes to Trump's 75 million. Doesn't matter. Electoral college is what matters. That's why they're desperate to do something about it. They want to shut it down. Right now, I know that Donald Trump has a real path towards victory. You've got never Trumpers once again whinging about how he can't win, when even Democrats are saying he only needs 44,000 more votes. Yeah, Trump can win. Then you take a look at Bud Light, you take a look at rich men north of Richmond, you take a look at Sound of Freedom, you take a look at Target, and we are winning the culture war, which is why the only thing these psychopaths have left is the weight of law enforcement. They're desperate. I think Republicans need to get ready because they'll try and make it worse. Now you've got the story coming out about a woman who had a pride flag, got into an altercation with a guy who tried ripping it down, and then he shot and killed her. They desperately need a reaction. Don't give it to them. Now is the time to make money, work hard, and make sure you are focused on learning as much as you can, spreading the word, talking about politics, challenging the legitimacy of these charges against Trump and his lawyers and media personalities under investigation. Challenge all of that. And make sure you are ready to vote. Because I tell you this, the path towards victory is simple. Trump wins. And there's a lot of people who are like, he can't win. Oh, blah, 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 blah. 42,000 votes. They say, what was the point of voting in 2020? Oh, it's all crooked. Nope. 42,000 votes was all Trump needed. And if y'all remain steadfast, he will easily get that. Now's the time for people to write music. Rich men north of Richmond. Slam dunk, Oliver Anthony. To make movies like Sound of Freedom. To tell these big corporations, we will not buy your products. And that's it. And with a smile on your face, you know what the Democrats are doing? They're wiggling their fingers in front of your face going, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Don't react. Just smile, turn around and walk away. Stay the course. Do not let them trigger you into a reaction. Now, don't get me wrong. Legal responses, lawfare, all that stuff's on the table. What I'm saying is we must at all costs prevent any and all violence because Democrats want it. They want it. You're going to see Antifa. You're going to see the far left, and they'll try and justify all of it. There's that far left extremist who set fire to a man's Trump sign in his yard. Proud to say, we have paid a reward to an individual who identified the criminal who has been criminally charged and is being sued. Now, the individual is being charged with a couple of misdemeanors that have no jail time, despite the fact that he committed arson twice. You see him on camera. He apparently admitted to it. Understand this. This is the path that we have to take. Now, a lot of people, I see these unhinged rants, unhinged claims. They're like, no, we have to fight. I'm like, dude, you're not going to win that. You are fighting an uphill battle as Democrats control these institutions. You must be smart about your approach. And the smart approach right now is cultural victories, smash hit songs, Billboard Hot 100. They can no longer deny it. Convince as many people as possible to wear that Guy Fawkes mask, figuratively, and stand peacefully. And then they can't do anything about it. That's seen in V for Vendetta. Nobody went around smashing anything. That's the Antifa lie. That's the leftist lie. All they did was put on the mask and say, we don't believe in you anymore. You have no strength. You have no power here. That's where we move as we go into 2024. Don't let them trigger you. Donald Trump says he'll proudly be arrested tomorrow in Georgia on election fraud charges. The ex-president's imminent surrender is poised to overshadow first GOP debate. That's right. Trump's bail is set as 200,000. John Eastman was 100. I believe we have this Sidney Powell, 100,000. Let me tell you, I was saying before that I thought Trump's best move was to challenge the machine, to go to Florida and say, serve me paperwork. And I'm diminished a bit on that idea. I've diminished a bit. Well, I certainly still see there's merits to Trump saying, serve me, and I will respond. What probably happened is they reached out to his lawyers and they did everything over the phone, and Trump said, okay, I'll come in. And I don't like that, because you don't need to give the government the benefit. Just say, you guys follow your normal procedures and let me know. But now that I've thought about it and I'm seeing this, I think I understand what Trump is doing. I don't think it's 5D chess. I don't think Trump is that clever. A lot of people think everything he does is 5D chess. Some people think he's still president for some reason. But I do think he's thought of, I do believe Trump has thought about this and he has chosen to do this. And there are some big advantages to Trump surrendering in this way. First, the lesser known GOP debate will be tonight, and I don't care to watch it. Some people are like, well, I want to watch it for the lulz. Dude, I'm sorry, man. I'll say it again. I don't care to see Nikki Haley quip at Mike Pence. That's meaningless to me. Vivek Ramaswamy and DeSantis, sure. But what's the point of watching, an hour plus so you can get a few minutes of Vivek and DeSantis talking? Nah, not worth it. Here's the thing about Trump surrendering on Thursday. Tomorrow, normally after a GOP debate, we'd be posting clips. We'd be saying, look what this said, look what he said, look what she said. Nope. Tomorrow, we're going to be saying Trump surrenders, Trump mugshot. Trump knows it. Trump knows these actions may shock America. And it's something I've talked about. You can't just be a frog sitting in the pot as the water comes to boil. You have to shock this nation. And that mugshot, definitely going to do it. I hope it's shocking enough, but I think Trump gets it. I should say, I think Trump believes it. Trump surrenders. They put him through all this and he comes out looking like a political martyr, saying, look what they are doing. And I think it's going to be effective for a lot of people. I hear from more and more people I know that voted for Biden in 2020 saying this is getting out of hand. And so at the very least, a lot of people I hear from say they won't be voting Democrat. Doesn't mean they vote Trump, but Trump only needs 42,000 votes. That means the Democrats can lose 42,000 votes. Trump can win 42,000 votes, or some combination of the two. Let's say Democrats lose in these states 20,000 votes and Trump gains 25,000. He wins. Let's say Democrats lose 200,000 votes and Trump gains nothing. Let's say Trump loses 1 million votes across these states and the Democrats lose more. That's the point. It's not just about whether Trump will gain votes. It's about how many is Biden going to lose, which is why we're hearing more and more that mandates are coming back. And we talked about this last night in IRL. Phil Labonte was saying that they'll justify mask mandates or lockdowns so they can get the mail-in votes. But my response was, I think he's mostly correct, but they're not going to call them mandates. There are some mandates, some universities, a studio in Hollywood, some hospitals in New York. And I'm hearing rumors from friends of friends that some areas of LA have already brought it back, mask mandates. Or California, I should say. But I think there's a strong possibility that what happens is Joe Biden's administration comes out and says, no, we're not going to force you to do anything. Mandates don't work, so we're not going to do mandates. But these are our guidelines because we think you should follow them and you should try to save your fellow man. Now, we're not going to force anybody to do this, but because we have issued this guideline, we have to do universal mail-in voting. Sorry, everybody, it has to happen. Now, some people have said, yeah, but they've already done it. They've already got universal mail-in voting. Yes, but there are still some weaknesses there as to whether or not you will receive another ballot again. They've done this thing where it's like, if you've signed up before, you'll get another one, but will everyone get one? If they issue these guidelines, then we're going to send everybody the mail-in vote. Then they're going to go for the ballot harvesting again. But Trump needs only 42,000 votes in these swing states, which is why they're going after him in Georgia, because they know Georgia is pivotal. We'll see. But take a look at what they're doing here from Politico. A Trump employee who monitored security cameras at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago abruptly retracted his earlier grand jury testimony and implicated Trump and others in obstruction after switching from an attorney paid for by the Trump Political Action Committee to a lawyer from the Federal Defender's Office in Washington. I would like you to just understand what happened here. A federal employee becomes the lawyer for this individual who all of a sudden is now implicating Trump. I'll tell you what I think happened. This guy probably did nothing because this case is already novel legal theory. Told the story. I don't know. Trump didn't say to hide anything. And they were like, but we need the indictment. We need the evidence. So a Fed goes to him and says, here's what's going to happen. We are going to get you on perjury charges unless you recant and say what we want you to say. And this guy, terrified and panicking, thinking it's all coming crashing down, will do anything to save his own ass. Here we are. The aide described as Trump employee 4 in public court, identified elsewhere as Yuscil Taveras, held the title of Director of Information at Mar-a-Lago. He initially testified to a grand jury in D.C. that he was unaware of any effort to erase the videos. But after getting the new attorney, immediately retracted his prior false testimony and detailed the alleged effort to tamper. Because what they did was they said, listen, you're going to be okay. You're going to go home. You're going to play video games. Hear that new Baldur's Gate 3 is coming out. Is it Baldur's Gate 3? Baldur's Gate's coming out. I don't know if it's part 3 or whatever. It's coming out for PlayStation, already out on Steam. Don't you want to just go home and play Baldur's Gate? All you got to do is say what we want you to say, and it all goes away. Because think about it. If you say naughty things, nasty things about Trump, what's the worst going to happen? Is Trump going to get mad at you? So what if he does? If the feds are mad at you, now you're going to prison for the rest of your life, and there is nothing you can do to stop it. Well, that is, of course, unless you say what we tell you to say, and then maybe we'll look the other way and let you go on home and play your new video game. There is no world in which I believe this testimony is legitimate. Russiagate hoax, Ukrainegate hoax, lie, lie, lie. It's getting crazy out there. Robert Barnes. Someone posted this tweet, a quick cheat sheet of the top 5 constitutional issues of the Trump indictment. First, it violates the Article 2 executive power. Yeah, the president has the power to do things. Violates his First Amendment because he was saying things. Fourth Amendment in their search warrant. The Fifth Amendment in the grand jury and venue clauses for misuse of D.C. grand jury. Sixth Amendment, attorney-client privilege. Other issues include impeachment clause. First Amendment issues with prosecuting your opponent. One theory says that the Constitution requires you impeach a president before you charge him criminally because he is the executive. He takes action on behalf of this country. He determines as the executive, as the chief executive officer, commander-in-chief, he determines how law enforcement is handled. So he's supposed to be impeached before any of this happens. And if there's crimes, high crimes and misdemeanors, they say, then he gets impeached. Then he gets criminally charged. Instead, this is where we're at. Robert Barnes responded to the key witness flipping, saying, in other words, the chief judge in D.C. interfered with a client's choice of counsel, interposed a lefty Trump-hating federal defender on his client, coercing the client into flipping on and testifying against Trump allies. It's the continued violation of the Sixth Amendment. Oh, so much. Charlie Kirk says, for those of you keeping score at home, we have a local D.C. district attorney investigating the #1 funder for conservative political causes on the right. We have the local Westchester DA investigating James O'Keefe, trying to put him in prison. We have the local Manhattan DA indicting Trump for an unprecedented crime, trying to go after his whole family. Local Fulton County DA going after Trump and his lawyers. Michigan AG is targeting 16 alternate electors. And not a single Republican DA or AG has the stones to investigate or indict the criminals on the left. This is why you are losing your country. Here we go from Politico. D.C. Attorney General is probing Leonard Leo's network. The Federalist Society co-chair and ex-Trump judicial advisor has utilized nonprofit groups to collect more than $1 billion for conservative causes. Politico says Washington, D.C. Attorney General Brian Schwalb is investigating judicial activist Leonard Leo and his network of nonprofit groups, according to a person with direct knowledge. The scope of the investigation is unclear, but it comes after Politico reported in March that one of Leo's nonprofits, registered as a charity, paid his for-profit company tens of millions of dollars in the last 2 years since he joined the company. A few weeks later, a progressive watchdog group filed a complaint to the D.C. Attorney General. Blah, blah, blah. You get the point. Here we go. It's all coming down. Trump's going to surrender. He's going to be treated like any other inmate. There's going to be a protest, apparently. Y'all need to be as peaceful can be. In fact, one idea, people might not like this, is to handcuff yourselves. I just that. Put cuffs on, or maybe even figurative cuffs, for a couple reasons. We do not want anyone to be violent. And I know a lot of people are going to say self-defense. You need to understand a few things. First, the symbol of Trump supporters in cuffs is an excellent stunt. Remember when AOC pretended to be cuffed? Because they know what that shows on video. But here's what I'm saying. They will try to provoke you. Antifa may try showing up to provoke you into fighting. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, no, don't back down. But you need to understand two things, two scenarios. The May 29th insurrection, where law enforcement cleared out the far left after they tried to burn down a church, and it was forgotten about. And January 6th, where the police stood down, opened the door, and let people in, and now those people are in prison. They will try to trick you into doing something that will result in your arrest, that the media can then use against you. And even if Antifa swings first and you defend yourself, that's not the clip they're going to show. They're going to show the clip of you swinging. That's why I say nonviolence, resist any attempt to get you baited into fighting. Don't fight. Don't do it. And I know a lot of people don't like the idea, but this is why the left wins. They claim victimhood. Imagine what would happen if peaceful, nonviolent Trump supporters were kneeling in front of the court in a symbol of political persecution, and there's video of them being pepper sprayed and beaten without fighting back. That's the PR narrative. And I know. A lot of people are going to say, no, don't do it. No. I'm telling you, dude, don't give them the opportunity to make you look like the bad guys. I'm not saying you have to do the symbolic protest or anything like that. I'm just saying you get the idea. The last thing we need is any kind of conflict. Let them be evil. Don't let them trick you. Hope everyone stays safe, and I hope you remain vigilant. The key to victory now is November, and Trump can win. Don't let them convince you otherwise. I'll leave it there. Next segment is coming up at 4 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.